Hey guys, welcome back to today. So today we're going to be doing Sumbrada drills. All right, so a Sumbrada drill is a defend and attack drill. All right, so it's really helping you just be able to learn to block and then counter attack quickly. Today we're going to be covering a 3-count Sumbrada, also known as a high box Sumbrada. There's a bunch of different ones, so I just kind of classify it this way. So let's go ahead and let's just get started. The first little piece of this, the first count, is going to be a point up inside deflection. All right, so I want the tip of my stick just a little bit above my head as I'm doing this, and I'm blocking something, a forehand horizontal with this. All right, so I can block using both hands. I could check, block and check. Right now we're just going to be working at this is going to be a range 3 distance, or a range 2 to range 3 distance. So we're going to be out where I'm not actually checking, I'm just blocking their attack, and then I'm going to counter back myself. So the first one, inside point up deflection, followed by a horizontal backhand. And that's all we're gonna do. So we're gonna do this for 1 minute, and then we will switch sides. Ready? Begin. Inside point up deflection, horizontal strike. 1, 2. Footwork can be a side step and then a step in. It could be a step back and then more of a lunge in. However you need to do this, remember your distance is gonna be changing every time you do this. Point up deflection, and horizontal strike. Now this horizontal strike is going to our body. It could also be going down towards the leg, could be going to the head, but that doesn't facilitate this specific drill. Inside deflection, strike. Inside deflection, strike. I like to move back and then move forward. I'm kind of ranging out and ranging in. A lot of times as I do this, I'm staying relatively close as I do my block, and then I'm able to attack. I have a bad problem of moving really far out and then moving in when I actually do my live stick fighting, and I miss a lot of the time because I don't want to get hit because, well, I have lots of bruises and I've broken 2 fingers doing the live stick fighting. And switch. Left hand, same thing, inside point up deflection, and then a backhand horizontal strike. Begin. Inside point up deflection, backhand horizontal. Inside point up deflection, backhand horizontal. 1, 2. All right, so like I was talking about, if you go too far out and then try to come back in, a lot of time you're too slow. Right? I can avoid getting hit, but I can't quite hit them back, which, you know, it's cool because I didn't get hit, because it's not fun getting hit with a stick, but you also want to hit them back in order to actually be able to win or finish the fight. So just be aware that if we are putting up this block and countering back, we don't have to go as far back, right? Sometimes I might just move all the way back and then hit at the same time, and that's viable, right? So just be aware of what you're doing and be aware of these distances. So just rep this out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Keep it going. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And time. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna do is with the right hand, so we're switching back to your right hand, you're going to do a roof block, right? So it's a inside point down deflection, most of the time known as a roof block, just like this, and it's blocking something coming down at me at this angle, right? This thin angle, it could be like an angle 1, but a little bit more vertical instead of that 45 degrees, all right? Ready, begin. Roof block up. And now the counter for this is just going to be coming right back down. Or, excuse me, it's going to be coming around with this. Roof block up and then around. So it's going to be a forehand horizontal. Again, this could be like your number 1 strike. This could be this complete horizontal line. For now, I want you feeding this horizontal line. It's just going to help facilitate the drill a little bit more, especially if you're working with a partner. The cool part about this is when it all goes together, this pattern just repeats itself. Keep it going. Point up or point down, right? Hand goes up and then swing that around. Now as I do this, I'm keeping my tip in front of me. I don't want to go way off to the side here. And while I can do that, because a lot of times something like that will happen as they hit, it'll help circle this around. I want to have it forward in case this is the blade, right? I block and I can still thrust, or I can stop them from moving forward because I have that blade edge on, all right? And switch sides. Same thing, and begin, right? Roof block, horizontal forehand. Roof block, horizontal forehand. Keep this going. You can move back and then around. Sometimes you'll move off to the side and then around. Sometimes people use this as they crash in and go around with this, right? That's another option. Not quite what we're gonna be doing this time, but a lot of people do crash in with these roof blocks, especially in stick fighting, not so much in sword fighting, right? You don't wanna crash in as much when you're actually using a blade, but with a stick, you can take a hit if you can end up tying up their stick and maybe disarming, and then you're the only one with the weapon. It can be a good option, and I have seen it used in full contact stick fighting matches very well, right? It does work. You just have to time it right. Point up, or point down, excuse me, point on as you do this. Now, even though I say point on, I still want it slightly angled. I want my body covered and behind it. This should be about towards my outside line. All right, so that was 2 pieces of it. Our third piece is going to be this punch up block, or an outside point down deflection, right? This is called, I call it a punch up a lot of the time. This is called a high wing. This is called a, what's the other name for it? Umbrella, all right? There's so many different names for it. It's just an outside punch up block to me. All right, 1 minute, begin. Here, and now we're gonna come straight down with this, but it's gonna be a little bit of a forehand straight down. Here, here. 1, 2. Here. Block up and down. Block up and down. Up and down. Up, down. I'm saying up because I'm blocking up, and I'm striking down. Hook up, strike down. Notice as I do this, I go back, I go forward, back, forward. Notice I'm staying close to the ground, right? If you're up like this, your legs have to bend in order to press off. So if you stay close to the ground, you're gonna be able to spring a little bit faster. If I'm here, I'm not gonna be able to do that same spring. Other side, and begin. Punch up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Block up, punch down. Keep this going. It's getting a little dark. Hopefully you'll be able to still see me in a few minutes. Block up and down. 1, 2. Moving back, and I'm coming forward. Here, here. Now, as you're doing this, make sure you're still coming down, and again, slightly at that forehand. A lot of people want to bring this around and strike here, right? There's nothing wrong with that. There really is not anything wrong with that. It just doesn't facilitate the drill, right? That's the only thing that's wrong with it, is if you're trying to do a drill, it doesn't work, right? Keep this going. Block. Block up, strike down. Block up, strike down. Up and down. And time. All right, guys, so we have 3 pieces of this, and I actually messed up, right? The very first piece was wrong for the drill that I wanted to teach. It's correct for our 5-count drill, but it's wrong for our 3-count drill, right? So with that, I should have had you do a point up and then a slightly angled down backhand, right? Instead of here into this horizontal strike. That leads, again, to a different drill. Not wrong, just different. So we're gonna put these together now, and we're just gonna do, let's do 30 seconds on each side, but now I want you to block, point up, and then strike at that backhand vertical strike, and then we're gonna come up for our roof block, bring it around for our flat horizontal strike, raise up for our punch-up block, and then strike down at that forehand vertical, and then it resets. Point up deflection, strike down, roof block, strike around, punch up, strike down. And 30 seconds, right hand, begin. Point up deflection, backhand down, roof block, around, punch up, forehand down. Inside deflection, backhand down, roof block, flat strike all the way around, punch up, and forehand down. Inside deflect, backhand down, roof block, around, punch up, forehand down. Inside deflect, and that's time. Switch sides, other side, begin. Inside deflection, backhand down, roof block, all the way around, punch up, forehand down, inside deflect, backhand down, roof block, all the way around, punch up, forehand down, inside deflect, backhand down, roof block, around, punch up, forehand down. Again, I'm moving in this back and then forth, and that's time with this. Back and forth, back and forth with this, right? If you have a partner doing this with you, it's gonna make a little bit more sense, right? And now, probably gonna run a little over time, but that's all right. I wanna show you what I was going for the first one, is that inside deflect, and then we have this down, and then we would do here with our chicken wing strike, come here, roof block, and then it continues with the rest of the movements like what we just did, right? So we can add different pieces of this. When you start to learn different blocks and counters that go together in this drill, you'll realize there's a whole bunch of them. And then when you have a partner that knows these as well, you start to free flow with it, right? I would have my partner and I would strike my partner and they would block, and then it would be their job to feed whatever, whether they feed down here, whether they feed here, here, or backhand, doesn't matter. I should have a defense for that because there's only so many angles of attack. So once you learn them all, you learn how to defend, and then you learn how to attack, and then you free flow with your partner, testing each other. Start off slow, allow them to block. You want him to be able to see the attack coming so they can block it, and then they can strike. That makes them better, and them becoming better makes you better, right? So if you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and I will see you tomorrow.